Hello, my name is Robert Paver, and this is an open letter to Mr. John T. Gentry, Chairman of the Board, President of Positronics, who has facilities all over the world. Prior to my working for you, I was a healthy man, no problems. My eyes were in excellent shape. In this letter, I am addressing one particular location, 433 North Campbell, Springfield, Missouri, and one particular department, the plating department. Phil Griffin, head, Jeff McFarland, chief supervisor, Eric, manager, and your safety boss. Whatever his name is, I do not recollect. This open letter to you, which concerns my employment, the work accidents I had while there, and the failure of your company to address my injuries after I was so blatantly dismissed 2 days after I had just received a raise. It is my opinion that a man of your caliber does not know about this. I cannot believe that you know that it's been a year and a half, almost 2 years. Here I began to work for you in 06 in December, and here it is 09. And the injuries that I had in the 9 months that I worked for you, I was a trainee at the anodizing department. And nobody explained to me about the horrors of the acid that I was working in. And little by little, I learned. But at the same time, what happened to me was incorrect, and I was treated very badly. And that itself was wrong. I worked hard, sometimes 8, 10, 12, 14 hours a day, and I never, ever turned down anyone, or at any time when they needed something special. So I cannot believe that you do not know this. I cannot believe that if you do know this, that you would allow that the accidents and the injuries I had to progress in all this time without taking some sort of action. If this were your child, your person, your friend, wouldn't you try to address the injury and heal it rather than let it progress so long and develop so bad? My period of employment with your company was from mid-December 06 to mid-September 07. I worked in your plating department as an anodizer trainee, and in January 07, while passivating some parts, a drop of citric nitric acid solution shot into my left eye. I am not used to wearing glasses because my eyes were in good shape. I didn't need glasses to read, to see, or anything else. And I am being honest about this. I had all my safety equipment on, but not being used to wearing glasses, I did not have my glasses. Now I am being honest about this, but that is no mistake. I have checked with many people who have worked in other places, and they don't wear glasses. And how hard it was for them to get used to remember to put their glasses on. But either way, makes no difference. I went and I was putting Positronics. I was putting the pail of parts into the, to have them to be pacified, and a drop of acid shot right into my left eye, to my right eye, excuse me. And I ran right away to the faucets and tried to wash my eyes out. Thank God for them. I probably would have lost my eye altogether. And finally, 7:30 came, 6:30, 7:30, and finally, Jeff McFarland showed up, and I told him what went on, and he said, well, you want to use your doctor, or do you want to use our doctor? So I thought I had a choice. So I said, well, no, I'll go ahead and use your doctor. And I went to Concentra, and what did they do? While I was burning and my eye was there, they stood and gave me an eye test. While my eye was burning. Well, I read down 3/4 of the chart. I had no problem. but burning there. So then they took me in the room and they washed my out and irrigated both of my eyes for about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, I'm not sure. And then they gave me some antibiotic and sent me back to work, which was fine. I have no problem with that. I dealt with it, and as long as I was putting the antibiotic in my eye, everybody was asking what was wrong with my eye. Well, I told them. Well, that was then. That was in January '07. And when I was there, the doctor asked me, well, why aren't you wearing glasses? Just because of my age. I said, what's the matter with you? What do you mean, why don't I wear glasses? You don't wear glasses unless you need them. What's the matter with you? Anyhow, then in February, I had a wrist injury. And what happened was, because all the titanium racks are hanging on water pipes. And I had when I grabbed them, and they're about 3 feet long, you know how long they are, and I grabbed them to pick them up off the water pipe, and my wrist gave way, and it came down, and whammo, got me right here in my wrist. Well, it was a little prick. So I mentioned it to Jeff, and we dismissed it. And over the weekend, it grew to the size of my fingernail. And it was pussy and bloody. So they sent me to Concentra, who in fact gave me an antibiotic. It was Dr. Proctor. And after Dr. Proctor treated it, he gave me an antibiotic, and they turned around and they took an x-ray of it. And another thing about Concentra. Every time you go there, of course, you have to give a urine sample to check if you've been on drugs. Well, of course, I'm not on drugs. Well, the first time with my eye, they checked my urine, and of course the lady labeled it. I had to sign it for it that this was me. The second time I went there, this fat little nurse, a male nurse, you know, he made 2 specimens. Well, why 2? Last time it was just 1. And he said, oh, you don't have to sign it. You don't have to sign it. I said, why don't I have to sign it? He said, oh, I probably wanted it for a drug friend of his to pass it. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. Then while I'm taking the x-ray, he says, what is your Social Security number? So foolishly, I gave him my Social Security number. They already had it. And then he put it on a little piece of paper and stuck it in his pocket. I don't know what he was after. You know, there's a lot of identity theft going on. Who knows? All I know is Concentra should not even be operating. Anyhow, after Dr. Proctor bandaged it, and he gave me an antibiotic, I went home. But the medicine he gave me made me feel like my bones were breaking. So I went back the next day, and he gave me another antibiotic. And that was fine. And I went back 2 days later. He said, come back and he'll redress the room. And I went back, and he did. And he said, well, there was some cartilage or whatever, some hard stuff in the center. It had developed. And so he said, I'll bandage it up. I'll get one of the nurses here to bandage it up, but they wouldn't bandage it. The doctor had to come over and bandage it himself. Because everybody else there, but they wouldn't do it. Can you believe this? And so, anyhow, he told me come back in 2 days.